Hello friends and welcome to Art with Miss P. This week's lesson is going to be a fun, spooky house. So we're going to design a house kind of in the style of the house that the Addams family lives in. Even if you haven't seen the movie, you know or are familiar with the house they live in. It is a big Victorian style is the architectural style mansion. It's spooky, it's creepy, and it's old. And we're going to render it at night, so it looks like we're looking at a spooky mansion at night. So let's get your white piece of paper, your pencil, eraser if your pencil doesn't have an eraser, and crayons, because we're going to use crayons to color this. All right, so turn your paper vertical, because this house is going to be tall, so we need your paper vertical. Down here near the bottom, not all the way to the bottom, but near the bottom, draw a straight line going across your page. That is going to be your horizon line. Now in the center right here where my hand is, we're going to draw a tall rectangle. Because this is an old, creepy, spooky house, we're not going to be worried about drawing our rectangles perfectly straight. So right up here, about this far up, let's draw a horizontal line and then have two lines coming down that are slightly diagonal. So it gets a little bit skinnier down here than it does up here. Now notice these lines are not touching each other. So we're not making a triangle. We're making a rectangle that's not a perfect rectangle, because we want to pretend we are walking up the walkway and we're looking up at this big mansion. So it's going to be smaller here, and as it goes up, it gets wider. So now let's put the two wings on either side of our house. So right here, we're going to draw a straight line over here and another straight horizontal line over here. Then we are going to draw a diagonal line right here and a diagonal line right here. It's going to start looking a little funny in just a minute. It's kind of going to look like a robot in just a second. And then bring that line back into your house. And then from here, draw a line all the way back into your house. See, I told you it was going to look a little funny. Kind of looks like a little robot with wings at the moment. All right, now let's get the walls of our house on. From this corner, jump in just a little bit right like that and draw a slightly diagonal line all the way down to your horizon line. We left that little corner so it looks like it has a roof that overhangs. We're going to do the same thing over here. From this corner, jump in just a little bit and draw a diagonal line all the way down to your horizon line. Now we have the two wings with a roof. So now we got to get a roof onto this part of the house. So coming just up to right here, draw a horizontal line. Notice that this line right here is longer than this line. So we do not want these two lines to be the same length. This one's going to be a little bit shorter than this one. And then we're going to come off this corner and put a little dot right there. Come off this corner and put a little dot. These dots are going to be guidelines. We're going to get rid of them in just a second. From this corner to this dot, you're going to draw a curved line. So watch what I do. From here to here, curve your line in towards the house, not out, in. Same thing over here. From this corner, end of this line to this dot, curve that line in. So we want to curve it into the house like this. Don't curve it out. And then to connect it to your house, do a little flip and connect. Flip it and connect. And now you've got those corners that flip out and it comes in. And this is the roof line that you see on traditional Victorian homes. So now we've got the basic shape of our big Addams family spooky mansion. So let's add in a few big details, not our small details. Small details come at the end, our big details. We're going to put a window up here. We call that a dormer. We're going to put a couple of windows here, out here on the wings, and a door. So let's get this dormer up here first. So we're actually going to draw what looks like a little house up here. So we're going to draw a triangle with a square underneath it. It looks like a little house. And if you want to, you can erase this line right here, or you can leave it. It's totally up to you. It depends on what kind of decoration you want to do. I left it on this one, and I drew a little triangle inside it and put windows. On this one, I'll move it, and I'll just put a really big window right here, like this. So you can kind of design it however you want it. There's an idea for that one. I did this one this way. You can even put a circle window inside there. Kind of your choice. All right, let's talk windows for a second. Windows can be, these are my moons. We'll talk about moons in just a second. So when it comes to doing your windows here, guys, I'm going to give you some choices. You decide how you want to do your windows. You can do big, tall windows like this, and then have a line going down and either 3 or 4 lines going across. That's a window. You can do windows that are like this. They're like a horizontal line with a half circle. You can do windows like that and then have 2 lines going down and a couple of lines going across. That's an option for a window. You can have round windows like this right here and divide it up like that, and even put another couple lines in to divide them up even more. You've got a lot of choices on how you can do your windows. So you pick and choose how you want to do your windows. On my colored example, I did half oval windows. On this one, I'm going to do windows like this, because I did windows like this on my colored example. So let's get some windows in. So you would have 2 or maybe 3, but only 2 are going to fit on mine. Windows right here. I will have a door right down here, so I want to go ahead and get my door on. And your door, here's another choice for your door. You can do a door, you know, like that. There's your handle. Or you could do a big double door like this. Your choice. I did a single door, and then I put boards over it that say do not enter. But you can choose what kind of door to do. I'm just going to do a single door right here with I think I'll do a half moon window in this door and a handle. So I've got room for some more windows right here. So I can put 2 more windows right here, or I could put 1 big window right there. I could put 1 big round window right there. I think I'm going to put a half round window above my door right here. And maybe 2 smaller windows on either side. And then I'm going to come over here and put some windows. So be working on getting your windows on. Okay, so there's the basic outline of my windows and my doors. So let's go back up here to the sky and put a moon in. Now you've got choices on moons. You can do a full moon, which is round. You can do a crescent moon like this, or you could do a crescent moon that's really thin like this. You can even have a full moon that comes in from the side like that where you don't see it all. Choice is yours. But let's get a moon somewhere up here in your sky. Because remember, this is nighttime, so we want a moon. I'm going to do a big full moon coming out of the corner right here. On my colored example, I did a crescent moon right there. So let's get your moon and you decide. And then I'm going to draw some circles. And my circles are not touching each other. I am spreading these circles out. These are my stars. These are going to be my stars. I've got my moon. I've got my stars. I'm going to put some craters on my moon right here. Some craters. All right. So now let's start adding in some more details. All right. On these old Victorian homes, you will have these little, I really don't know what they're called, and I should have probably researched this a little bit, but I don't know what they're called. But it almost looks like a little fence on top of the house. They'll have that up there. Sometimes it'll look like this. It'll be metal poles, and it might have circles or dots on top. Sometimes they'll be shaped like this right here. So let's get a few of these little details on top of the roof on your house. And remember, we're going to go over in Sharpie. I think I forgot to tell you to get a Sharpie for this. You will go over these in Sharpie. So make sure you have a Sharpie. I think I forgot to tell you that. And let me get my window panes in. I forgot to do that real quick. You may already have your window panes in, and if you do, that's great. So now we're going to start moving into what's called our small details. The small details is what's going to make the house look old and creepy and spooky. Small details are fun to do. I love to do small details. But you wait until the very end. Small details are details that you do at the end. All right, so coming back up here in these old houses, sometimes they're heated by wood fireplaces. It's the only way you can heat these houses. So they would have a chimney that would come off, kind of like this right here, with a triangle on top. So if you want to put one of those like stove pipes coming out of the roof of your house, you could certainly do that. All right, these houses have roof tiles. Now, we could cover the entire roof with the shapes I'm doing right here, but that would take a lot of time, and we want to work smarter, not harder. So we're just going to do a few little shapes like that to give the illusion that there's roof tiles on top of the roof right there. All right, so let's start adding in some other minute details. Now, you could come down here and you could choose to put a fence in, like on this example right here. I put a fence. So if you want to put a fence right here, you can. You don't have to. Maybe you want to put a tree right here. There's lots of choices you can do. I'm going to put some bump lines right here so it looks like that I've got some bushes back here. And I'm going to put a fence in, and this is how you do a fence. So if you want to do a fence, this is what you would do. I would come in and I would draw lines like that, and then everywhere I had a little point, I would drop 2 vertical lines down like that. And then you could either leave it like that, or you could come back and put some type of finial. They're called finials. Some type of top on it. Totally up to you. And then my fence would go behind the house, and then I would pick my fence up over here, drop my fence post down from my points, and you can certainly design your own fence. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it, and you don't even have to have a fence. Like I said, you could put a big spooky tree right here. You just have so many choices. All right, I'm going to do a walkway. So from my door to the edge of my paper right here, I'm going to draw 2 diagonal lines, and it gets closer together back here, further apart as it comes out. We want to get our perspective right. So that is our walkway. This right here will be our grass, our yard. So maybe you've got a couple of bushes right here. So let's draw some bump lines with some bushes and maybe another bush right there. Where my bushes overlap my house or my windows, we need to erase to get our overlapping right. And I'm going to continue my bush down right there and let it cover that part of the fence too. All right, so we've got our bushes right there. So let's put some bushes on this side of the house. So I'm going to have a big bush right here. I'm going to erase where it overlaps my house and overlaps my window because I want my overlapping to be right. And I'm going to have a graveyard. I'm going to put a graveyard right here. So I'm going to have some tombstones. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line and a tall half oval or a rainbow shape, an arc like this right here. And then I'm going to have a couple more because, you know, we want just one. Let's have a couple. I'm going to put one right here, and it's going to overlap that fence a little bit, so I'm going to erase. And you can put a little sod on it right there to give it some perspective. Little skinny line right there, little skinny parallel line. So those are our gravestones. All right, you can write on them. You can write R.I.P. You can write Here Lies Whoever. I'll just put Here Lies Me. You can put a name right there if you want to. Or you don't even have to put anything on them. Whatever you want to do. Let's have some cracks in our house. This is an old, decrepit house. So you might have some cracks going across right here. Maybe you've got some cracks coming off this window right here. Cracks in the side of the house. Got a crack coming out right here. Because this house is not very sturdy. Maybe over here you've got a big spider web. And I'm going to draw the end of my spider web like that. And where I have a point, I'm going to draw lines all the way back to that corner. Maybe I'm going to have a spider coming down. And we'll have, put 8 little legs right there. A spider coming off that spider web. We've got some broken windows. To do a broken window, just do a zigzag line like that. And then erase everything inside that zigzag line. And maybe a few more broken windows up here. Erase everything in there so it looks like a hole. Now maybe you've got some spooky stuff going on. Maybe we've got a ghost right here inside this window floating around. So let's make a ghost shape. Kind of looks like the Pac-Man ghost right there. But you can make whatever kind of ghost you have. I'm going to put some eyes right here in this window looking out. So as you walk up, there's some eyes looking out right there. I'm going to put some eyes peeking out from this bush because we don't know what's lurking in this bush right here. But there's some spooky eyes right there. I'm going to put a vine because there's weeds that grow in old houses because the grass doesn't get cut very much. So I'm going to add some weeds down here. But I'm going to have a weed that comes maybe from this bush. It's going to come up the side of the house, and maybe it's going to go across and go across right here. Now this is a vine. Here's how you make the leaves really easy. Just come back and crisscross this line like I'm doing right here. And it creates the illusion of leaves. I'm just doing like a really curvy line following that vine line that I just drew. And it creates the illusion of leaves. You will color those different shades of green. So there's a vine growing up right there. And of course, we've got another broken window right there. So think about all your spooky little details you can add in. Maybe you got a bat up here. I'm going to draw a bat across my moon right here. So I'm going to draw the head of my bat. I'm going to draw the body. I'm going to give him some little legs coming out right here. Give him some wings coming out like this. And then the zigzag wings coming back in because bats have very pointy wings. Pointy ears too. Eyes and a mouth with 2 fangs. So there's my bat. I will color that completely black at the end. And, you know, you can add more spider webs, more vines, more broken windows. Maybe you've got some eyes that are peeking out of this window right here. As you walk up, you see spooky eyes right there. Maybe another broken corner right there where somebody threw a rock or a brick through it and broke it. If you want to board up your door like this, then you could just put a big X right there and put do not enter. So if you did that, you would just put a board. And remember, get your overlapping straight, guys, because you don't want to have your overlapping not right. You can make your sidewalk. We can even take a chunk out, like there's a piece broken, and do it like that. Have a chunk broken out right here. Have some cracks going across our sidewalk like this. And then over here, you can add some more gravestones. You could add whatever spooky stuff you had. Maybe you got a big jack-o'-lantern right here, or a tree, or I don't know. You think about all the details you want to add in to make your house as spooky or as creepy as you want. You don't even have to make it spooky or creepy. You could have just stopped drawing and not put in the spooky details. Completely, totally up to you. But when you finish all this, You're going to trace over everything in Sharpie. So get that Sharpie, trace over everything. Make sure you erase your pencil lines when you are done. And then you're going to use your crayon to color. So let's talk about coloring just a little bit. To do a nighttime sky, you don't want to use the color black. Even though that sounds logical because you think of the sky as being black, but it's really not black. It's more of an indigo color. Indigo is where you take dark purple and dark blue and mix it together. I used a crayon actually called Indigo. I have a big box of 96 crayons, so if you've got one that big, you will probably have a crayon called Indigo. Use that or use a very, very dark blue. But don't use black. That's just too dark. So I colored my sky indigo. I did not color my stars. I left them white, but you can color them yellow if you want to. Your moon can be yellow, yellow-orange. You could even leave your moon white if you wanted to. Your bat will be black. And then choose a color for your house that does not blend in with your sky. I chose this raspberry color. And I did a black, but I colored lightly so my roof looks black, but not too dark. I chose a blue door and a blue frame up here. Different shades of green back here for my grass. I did a gray or a silver for my concrete walkway and my tombstones. And then I wanted my house to look like a nighttime house, so the lights are on. So I colored my windows yellow so it looks like the lights are on. Wherever you have a broken window, you will leave that black because that makes a hole and it's black. I left my ghost white. I colored my eyes, spooky eyes, yellow. I did red eyes up here in this one. So just think about your colors. Make sure you choose a color for your house that does not blend in with your nighttime sky and does not blend in with your background. Use different shades of green and have fun with this. I look forward to seeing your spooky, creepy Addams Family houses. So until next time, friends, peace, love, and sparkles from Miss P.